Hey, everybody, welcome back to the triumphant return of a very special podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all your favorite TV series from yesteryear and discuss it over a tall shot glass of Fireball. I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here by the recently 41-year-old turnee, Kat Halstead, the author. Welcome back, girl. Welcome back. And I just age-shamed you on the internet.
Yeah, thanks. I'm going to remember that come October 3rd.
Yeah. Mean Girls Day, wear pink. Is it a Wednesday this year?
I have no clue. Give me a second and I'll go check the Golden Girls calendar.
Yeah, actually, I think it's a Monday. I think I previously looked this up, to be honest with you. It's like a Monday or Tuesday. It's not a Wednesday. And you don't have to correct us.
I mean, I know you guys love to correct us. I know I'm too busy woman-splaining to Patrick all the time.
Oh, yeah. Just explaining things that I apparently already know the answer to, and I allow it to happen. I don't know. We've gotten a lot of hate over the years. We've been accused of minimizing allergies. People hate my voice for some reason. And the list goes on.
I'm just a bitch.
Yeah, Kat's just a raging bitch with a lot of problems. She's got to get her stuff taken care of before she can ever think about coming back on the airwaves.
Hey.
And that's what happened.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me who kept us away. It was you.
Yeah, we're back.
I hate you. Why do I do this with you? Why am I still doing this with you?
I don't know, I'm surprised you didn't replace me with somebody else. I don't know, Devin Sawa or something. I hear he's looking for a project to do.
He never replied to my direct messages.
Oh, he didn't?
What can I say?
Oh, that's a shame. That's a dirty old shame. Wish he did. Get him on the show. We could talk about Casper. Or Now and Then. I just found out the girl that grew up to be Rosie O'Donnell, she OD'd in 2010 or something. Did you know that?
Christina Ricci is the one who played the same character as Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, maybe it wasn't Rosie O'Donnell. It was one of the other girls. The quote unquote chubbier one.
That's the one who was Rita Wilson grown up.
Oh. Okay, sorry. But yeah, did you know that she OD'd in 2010 or something?
No clue. I don't think did she do anything else besides Now and Then?
She might have done a TV series. I don't know. I saw it on TikTok today, and it blew my mind because I was like, oh, I was always wondering what happened to that girl.
I did create a monster. I got you on TikTok, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm there, and I just look at it for 12 hours a day.
It's embarrassing.
Scrolling through the shit that you send me. 4 things an hour.
I do. I will go and send him 30 things at once.
I don't know. I think I'm 3 days behind. I'm trying to catch up on TikToks that you sent me.
All I know is you do deserve a nice middle finger for that one video you sent me this morning.
Oh, the Free Willy one?
With the stupid whale.
In case you didn't listen to, I don't know what episode of the podcast it was. Probably episode 52, maybe the Home Alone 2 episode. Who knows?
Who knows?
Our girl Kat Halstead revealed that she hated Free Willy, and she always wished that the whale crushed Jesse, the little boy in the movie. And ever since then, I've just been beside myself. Can't believe that out of all the movies in the world, you hate this movie. And E.T., too.
Yeah, I don't like E.T.
You
either.
really hate E.T.
I'm a terrible, awful person, Patrick. Haven't you figured it out? I'm an ice queen. I have actually been called an ice queen.
I guess you don't like movies that have creatures that are trying to get back to their home or original habitat.
I don't know, maybe not.
So anyway, enough said. What hot classic television series are we dipping into tonight for the first time? I said that funny. Dipping into.
We really have forgotten how to do this, haven't we?
Yeah, I forgot how to talk.
Yeah. We are diving into one of the most classic TV shows of all time. It is a show that started when we were 8 years old, 9 years old.
Maybe. I feel like it was even on longer than that.
Like that. Because it premiered in 89, I believe, or 1990, somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah, you're right. What? I thought it was the show was out way before that, but I'm way off apparently.
It was on for a good majority of our life, up until after we were out of college. Well, original college age.
The college years the first time.
Yeah, and then it came back this past spring. So we are doing Law and Order.
Yes, OG, not SVU, Criminal Intent.
Not LA.
Yeah, LA.
Organized Crime. That's the one with Elliot Stabler.
Yeah, he's back. I haven't watched it. I don't know about you. Any good? What's the verdict?
I'm not gonna lie. I watched a little bit of Organized Crime.
I really like the one with the Menendez brothers, the true crime spinoff.
Oh my god, yes, we totally watched that.
With Edie Falco as like the mom, I think she was the mom, right?
And Anthony Edwards as the judge.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then like the Menendez brothers, and it looked like they were like 45-year-old actors.
And Heather Graham was the crazy like mistress of the psychiatrist.
Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot about that.
We might need to do a rewatch, Patrick,
I know it's been a while.
if we can find it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on Peacock.
It's not on Peacock.
What?
Peacock does not have a good chunk of they do not have anything before season 14 of Law and Order. Drives me crazy because I want to watch them all. Because that's all I've been doing for months is watching Law and Order until this weekend when I got access to episodes of Sisters.
And I just wanted to watch an Angie Harmon episode. That's what we tried to do originally, but apparently it's
Yeah.
tough to find. Tough to find. People don't like Angie Harmon anymore.
Well, it's tough to find on streaming. You gotta like find it on the right channel, on cable at the right time.
Or I guess is it out on DVD? Can you like go to like Best Buy and buy the whole set?
Yeah, I'm sure you could get it on DVD,
Okay.
but I would need a DVD player, and I might have one in storage.
Yeah, I know it's 2022. Who has a DVD player? What is this? The 90s? The late 90s? Early 2000s? Ugh.
But yeah, so
I really thought that the true crime Law and Order branch should have just gone on forever. Can you imagine the fun, all the dun-duns we could have had over true crimes?
oh my god, like okay, so did you watch the Renee Zellweger series, The Truth About Pam?
Never even heard of it. Didn't even know Renee Zellweger was on television.
Oh my god, you have been in the dark. It is a true crime series based on this woman in the middle of the country who killed like her best friend and then tried to frame the husband.
Oh.
And then she killed somebody else and got busted for that one.
Oh, so that was her slip up. She got a little like little extra.
Yeah. But like Dateline was like onto her almost from the start. Like Dateline's like, there were like multiple Dateline episodes about this case. Unfortunately, I'm blanking on anything else. I just remember Josh Duhamel was also in the series. Like that could have been a Law and Order true crime kind of case.
You know what? They could have just brought back in Renee Zellweger and Josh Duhamel and just done it again, but like with the Law and Order dun or just like recut it. They just recut it and just add in like the, like October 5th, like whatever town Pam lives in. Pam. Of course her name is Pam. Ugh. Which classic episode of Law and Order, classic, are we doing tonight?
We are actually doing Jerry Orbach's last episode of Law and Order.
Who knew? Yeah, who knew this was going to be? I was like watching this and I'm like, this seems like it could be like a last episode for Lenny Briscoe.
That is why I picked this episode. It wasn't because of the case.
You just threw this name out at me and I was like, oh, maybe she's like really attached to this case. And then I just kind of was watching this and I'm like, this seems very like finale like for like a main character. Like this seems like it's the last time we might see this character ever again, except for like the random spin-off that he was in a year later that lasted like 3 weeks. Trial by Jury, by the way. Also starring Bebe Neuwirth.
Yes, he was only in 2 episodes of that. He was only in 2 episodes of that before, because he passed away while they were filming.
Yeah, R.I.P. boy, R.I.P.
But the reason I picked this episode is because it was Jerry Orbach's last episode.
Okay, so there was a motive to it. I thought you were just like, you did like a Russian roulette whale, like a Wheel of Fortune whale, just spun it.
Now, I could have just done like, let me just go pick a random ass episode.
I don't know. I just thought you were like heavily involved in this like plot because this is like the craziest plot ever.
It is such a crazy one though. It's a pretty like wacky story when you get down to it.
There's no like A to B that connects the police to the killers. It's like they go down this like wild path to try to find out who the killer is.
Mm-hmm.
And like I have a lot of thoughts on it. So we're doing, what is it called? COD?
Yeah.
Is the name of the episode? Like cash on delivery, not Call of Duty, like I thought it was earlier.
Yeah. You're like, Call of Duty. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
That's where my mind went. I don't know. I was thinking of my squad, my Call of Duty squad. Shout out to the Poozies.
Oh my god.
So this episode aired on May 19th, 2004. It was a Wednesday. You want to go back to that night? You want to find out what was going on? What was in the zeitgeist at this time?
Okay, it's Wednesday, 2004. I am still in college. I was watching this.
I'm sure you watched everything on television this night, because I feel like this night was, like, catered for you.
Oh my god.
Completely catered. Except for ABC, for some reason. I feel like you just dodged ABC tonight.
Okay, I'm kind of curious what this night of television was.
Alright, You want to start off with our boys at the Alphabet ABC?
Yeah, let's start with ABC.
The one that I said you're going to dodge. I feel like you're not into it. We get a full hour, 2 back-to-back episodes from 8 to 9 of My Wife and Kids.
Oh, yeah, no.
It had, what was it, Tisha Campbell, David Waynes, I think? That was that show? Was that the show?
I think so, yeah.
I honestly was going to, like, do, like, a hot, like, dive into the show, and I was like, I don't care. I don't really care. It was on for, like, a couple years, right? Like, it did okay, I think.
It has enough episodes that, like, a random cable channel every so often will air it.
Yeah, I feel like I've run into this recently, like within the last like 5 years. Like I've seen it somewhere. Maybe it was like Amazon Prime because I feel like they're like a graveyard for shows like this.
Yeah, I feel like maybe even Nick at Night had it for a little bit or TV Land, something like that. Like one of those kind of things where they have like these random shows and you're like, that was literally just on the air. Like, why is it on Nick at Night?
Kind of like how like the George Lopez show was like probably on for like 4 seasons, but it like lives on forever on Nick at Night.
And there was like a period of time where I swear to God, the only 2 shows Nick at Night aired were The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and George Lopez. And I'm like, I need to escape this.
I feel like George Lopez has like nude photographs of someone at Nick at Night like, on his hard drive. He's gonna like unleash them to the world.
Oh my God. Like, how did that even happen? What did you do to us, Sandra Bullock? What did you do to us?
And I feel like you're not going to watch the show that was on from 9 to 11 this night. It's a show that's still on today. Staple. There's like spin-offs of it now. Any guesses? Any hot guesses?
Wednesday night? No, it's not The Bachelor.
It is. It is The Bachelor.
It is?
Yes.
On a Wednesday night?
Yeah.
The Bachelor's a Monday night thing.
Not 2004, girl. In 2004, this thing was like dominating Wednesday nights.
Do you happen to know who The Bachelor was?
I can look it up. Give me a second. You gonna make a guess?
I want to say Bachelor Bob.
I feel like Bachelor Bob was like way earlier than that.
Maybe it's Bachelor Jason.
Wasn't Bachelor Bob on The Bachelorette?
Yes, he was on The Bachelorette. But he was so lovable. He ended up on The Bachelor.
Okay. Oh yeah, because his
Then, like he met the girl and they were cute together. But then he met Rebecca Budig from All My Children when ABC Family was doing like one of their weekend marathons of The Bachelor, and they hit it off and they ended up married for a while.
Okay. This season's The Bachelor is pretty boring. It was the guy that played for the San Francisco 49ers, Jesse Palmer.
Oh, it was Jesse?
Yeah, bored already. Like now he's like the host of like the Holiday Bacon Championship or something on like the Food Network, like Cupcake Wars. I don't know. He's like one of those type shows.
Like I used to love the Holiday Bake Off on Food Network, and then they've like replaced the host, and then they replaced the host again, and it just kept getting worse. And I was like, oh no, I'm out.
And I think it's Jesse now, right? Like he's the one who's on it right now.
Maybe I don't like have an actual TV set in my room. I watch everything off my laptop, so I'm not like really scrolling. Like I go into the cable app. I literally go and I type in Law and Order, hit enter, and I look for like, are there episodes right now? Like, is it on WeTV, or is it on Sundance, or is it on BBC America? Like, which channel's got my fix?
Actually, somewhere in the world, Law and Order is playing right now.
It is Tuesday. It is probably on right now on WeTV.
I hope it's recording, and I hope it's an Angie Harmon episode so we can see you. All right. You ready for the Tiffany Network, CBS?
Yeah, well, it was on CBS because I was definitely not watching ABC.
All right. I was actually kind of surprised by this lineup because I never took any of these shows for a Wednesday show. So
okay,
8 o'clock from 8 to 9, 60 Minutes 2.
Why does that make you laugh?
I sort of remember that being a thing. 60 Minutes 2. I guess like
it's a vague, foggy memory of probably seeing a commercial during Big Brother.
Yeah, so that was on, and then 9 o'clock. This really blew my mind. So we must be like nearing the end of the run of the show. So they moved it from Mondays to Wednesdays. Both of these shows actually. So at 9 is The King of Queens.
Okay.
And 9:30 is Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
Which I always like. Those were like Monday night staples, like forever, pretty much, right?
I am very sure I watched the finale of Raymond on a Monday night.
I mean, maybe they went back for one last time, like one last run on Monday.
Maybe, who knows?
All right, 10 o'clock. Any guesses? I feel like you'll get this. Think of our girl Erin Moriarty.
48 hours.
48 hours. That girl. She's out there solving crimes, finding that like crazy girl in Colorado that we were like really into a few years ago.
Hey, listen, I am definitely more of a 48 hours girl than I am a Dateline girl.
And 48 Hours has like the podcast form too, so you don't like have to watch it. You can like listen to it in your car, like on the way somewhere.
I just love 48 hours.
All right. Want to hop over to Fox? I feel like this is like your wheelhouse tonight.
Okay, what's Fox got?
Any guesses? Any hot guesses? What's going on?
I cannot fathom Fox in 2004 right now unless the OC is on.
No, not tonight.
Okay.
We get a full hour, 2 back-to-back episodes of That 70s Show.
Oh, okay.
And then, hold on. It's 2004. Fox's probably biggest show this year. Probably, like, biggest show this decade for them. And it's still sort of on a different network.
I don't know. I'm lost.
It's undergone a lot of host changes. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding these shows. There's always a rumor that one of the original stars was always drunk on the set.
Oh, American Idol!
Yes! Yeah, 2004, what is this, like a Carrie Underwood season? Carrie Underwood year?
I think so. I think this is Carrie and Bo.
Yeah. Hold on. I looked this up today because I was curious. And I was surprised I was wrong. And I still don't think this is the correct answer. But who do you think, think of every American Idol winner that you can imagine, who do you think is the most successful? Dollar-wise.
It's got to be between Kelly and Carrie, though.
All right, if you had to pick a name, who would you pick? You're probably going to say the same thing that I said, and I was wrong.
I want to say Kelly, but I also know Carrie has, like stuff that's not exactly her name attached to it, but she's, like, invested in. And
you might be going down the right path.
Well, Kelly has all of the albums, her tours, the movies, the TV talk show.
The Voice.
I mean, yeah. Totally forgot about that.
So that's where I went. I went with Kelly Clarkson. I was like, she has The Voice. She's got, like, shit tons of #1 singles.
Like, I follow both of them. I listen to both of them. And I would say Carrie, because she has books. She has a clothing line.
Yeah, if you add up all those dollars, if you add up every little income, it's Carrie Underwood, the most successful American Idol winner ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I said Kelly. And
yeah.
wrong. Because I was like, she's on The Voice. She's got that talk show. She's in from Justin to Kelly.
But, you know what? Kelly also had to pay her ex a bunch of money. Reba's former stepson.
Yeah, and a lot of those like early songs were those like Dr. Luke songs that she like picked up, and he probably got most of the cash flow from that. You ready for NBC? You ready for a hot night at NBC?
Okay, yeah, let's see. What's must-see TV this night?
All right, I'm guessing we're gearing up to the end of Friends, because tonight is a retrospect, an hour-long retrospect of Friends.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we're gearing up for the finale. We're going to say goodbye to our friends one last time.
I love Friends. I'm literally, Patrick, look at I'm literally wearing a Friends sweatshirt right now.
You are. Let the record be noted. All right, 9 o'clock. Any guesses what's on after a Friends retrospect? Like, what would they pair this up with in this almost summer of 2004?
I don't know. I feel like there's...
Possibly be on tonight.
I'm not in a 2004 mindset.
It's a show we've never done before. I thought I brought it up one time as a joke, like we should do this, and I feel like you immediately vetoed it. And I'm going to throw this out there. I've never seen the show, but one of your favorites is on it. Because when we did our accidental Rob Lowe month, like 2 years ago, this is a show that he was on for a little while.
Oh, was it The West Wing?
Yes, it was. Sure got it.
I've never watched The West Wing.
I never have either. Like, I know, like, Connie Britton's on it, like, at some point in time, too. I think she plays, like, a secretary of the press or something.
Like, Allison,
Jenny
Danny was on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Martin
all
Douglas.
kinds of cool people, but it's got a following, man. That show has a following.
Yeah, like, didn't they do, like, a dramatic read-in, like, during, like COVID on, like, Zoom one day or something? Like, the cast got back together, did, like, a dramatic reading?
Something like that. There's, like, a following on TikTok, and I swear these, like, the people watching it are younger than us, and they're, like, on TikTok talking about it. And I'm like, what is happening?
I think we're in the middle of, like, an Aaron Sorkin renaissance right now.
Maybe, I don't know.
He just did something, too, didn't he? Didn't something just come out that he had his paws in, I feel like?
Newsroom?
I feel like there's a movie. Like, I swear to God, I just seen a movie. Like,
I don't think I really, follow Aaron Sorkin, so can't really say.
I gotta look this up, because this is bothering me for some reason. The fucking, being the Ricardos, like the I Love Lucy thing.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, it's weird. It's really weird. But it's good.
I'm just waiting for when it's free on a streaming app.
Okay, alright, I don't know if you want... I got some hot UPN data. I think, like, we're near the end of UPN's run, so maybe we should give a shout-out to them.
Like, this has to be towards the end of UPN. Like, the last season, so when do they have Buffy?
I think Buffy's long. Like, Buffy was, like, 02 it was done. It was, like, way, like, we're way beyond that, I think, by now. Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, I'm not a Star Trek person. I've never gotten into it. I'm never gonna get into it. It's just not my thing.
I don't know. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll insert the bleep sound effect right there. We'll do a Star Trek.
Dude, what are you doing, David Train Man, like that? Come on now.
And then after Star Trek Enterprise, there's something called I'm Still Alive. I don't, probably like one of those, like, someone gets stung by a bunch of bees or something, and they're like, how is he still alive?
Yeah, that was a sad era. They're just grasping at anything they should get their hands on.
It was cheap. It was cheap to make. Had to interview somebody, maybe distorted their voice. Who knows? Just pay it, like, just find, like, some college kid, some, like, college theater kid to just do the reenactments of, like, getting stung by a bunch of bees. Oh, they just played the clip from My Girl. You never know. All right. I'm going to ask the age-old question. On a scale of 1 out of 5, Jesus take the wheels. How many Jesus take the wheels would you rate this night of television? Because I feel like we're going to get, like, not a middling, but, like, a just above middling. I feel like this is, like, a 4 for you.
You think this night is a 4?
Yeah, you're going to grab 4 Jesus take the wheels and just drive yourself home to safely.
This is a 2.5.
A whole hour of That 70s Shows, a Friends retrospective, Law and Order, King of Queens, Raymond, The Bachelor with Jesse from the 49ers. And
so, like, 3 hours of The Bachelor kills it.
It's only 2 hours. So do you get, like, a half point back now?
Yeah.
You're going to make it a middling?
That's still too long. That's just still too long.
I wonder if it was a premiere or finale. It must have been a finale.
I don't like King of the Hill, or King of Queens. I don't like King of Queens. I love King of the Hill. I hate King of Queens.
You like Doug Heffernan and Carrie Heffernan and Arthur?
Doug annoyed the hell out of me.
I can see it. He's not a catch.
Let's be real. I have some trauma from Everybody Loves Raymond and Crazy Mother-in-Law.
I'm going to give this night, though, I'm going to give it a 3.5. I don't know why.
Yeah.
We got King of Queens, Raymond, 48 Hours, That 70s Show, Law and Order, a Friends retrospective, and Hope I'm Still Alive. So
I will say, it does have variety tonight. It's got a little bit of almost everything.
Yeah, like your grandmother in 2004 probably watched The West Wing because she was really into Martin Douglas. Or Martin Sheen. Is it Martin Sheen? I can't remember.
Martin Sheen, yeah.
Martin Douglas plays the president in something else, though, right?
Are you getting him confused with Michael Douglas?
What I call Martin Douglas?
I wish you guys could see the embarrassment on my face right now.
Michael Douglas. You know what I meant. The guy who got cancer from, like, eating Catherine Zeta-Jones out. That one.
Yeah, that would be Michael Douglas.
That would be Michael Douglas. Ant-Man's father-in-law or something? Shout out to him. Is he coming back to Ant-Man? Is he going to be in Ant-Man 3? Quantumania?
Yeah. So is Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They rescued her from the, like, the Phantom Zone. Or
from the Quantum Realm.
Quantum Realm. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up with Superman.
Am I going to have to explain the MCU to you?
You might. It's been a while.
And how did that happen? How did I become the one, like, obsessed with the MCU?
I don't know. All right. So since you've seen this episode, like, 4 times in the last month, apparently, I think you should take us to New York City in 2004. It's, like, late spring or early spring. I don't know. It's May, so I guess just walk us through this wild, wild week.
Well, do you want to, like, walk through, like, who's who from Law and Order first? We gotta, like, set which era of Law and Order this is.
All right, because we definitely have we have Jesse Martin.
He's Detective Ed Green. Junior Detective Ed Green.
We got our boy Jerry Orbach as Lenny Briscoe. Final year.
Yeah.
Final case.
My boo, Lenny.
Sam Watterson's in it.
He's Jack McCoy. He is the executive assistant district attorney.
Yep, and then we have Serena Sutherland, played by Elizabeth Rom? I don't know how to say her name.
Rome.
She was on it for a while.
Yeah, this is we are about half a season before her character gets written out.
Did she get fired from the show? Like, what's the drama with
Like,
her?
she wanted to leave because she wasn't feeling like there was like enough for her to like stretch her acting wings wise, you know.
Yeah.
She's like kind of it's the same thing every week, kind of. You don't get a lot of character moments
From her?
sometimes, you know. And then, you know, they're gonna write her out with like the most ridiculous exit.
Like, she's like in a car or something. She like is like, oh guys, guess what guys? Like, I'm a lesbian. Isn't like that how it ends?
It's not even that. She's like sitting down talking with Arthur Branch, who is the district attorney, played by Fred Thompson. And he's like, I'm letting you go. He's like, you sympathize too much with the defendant. And like, you know, I don't think this is where you should be. I don't think this is the side you should be on, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, is it because I'm a lesbian?
But that's it. Like, that's
Cut to black.
Yeah.
And that's it. She's done. The next week we get the girl from As the World Turns.
It's been a while since I've seen an Elizabeth Rome episode. Does she sympathize with her people she's like going against? Because I feel like in this episode she was like ready to like pull the switch on the electric chair for like these women.
There's a couple of cases in the next season where she's a little more on the fence than Arthur or Jack,
Okay.
which is kind of a weird place to be because Jack McCoy is like our liberal DA, and Arthur Branch is the super conservative DA who, I mean, he left the show so he could run for president. So, like, she's kind of like somewhere in the middle between them. There are some moments in, like, the next season where she's probably a little more sympathetic than the others. Do I think she is the most sympathetic of the ADAs? No.
Okay. I'm going through this actress's Wikipedia page. She acts all the fucking time. Like, she's constantly doing things.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen these shows and movies, but I have, like, never placed her in any of this stuff. She was in, like, the 90210, like, CW show for, like, a few episodes. She was on the show Heroes for 8 episodes. The Client List, she had a recurrent role for 14 episodes.
Wow.
Like, wow. Yeah, wow. 3 episodes of the Hawaii Five-0 remake, NCIS, 6 episodes of Jane the Virgin, a 2020 Lifetime movie. Like, girl, still out there. But I don't know.
What I do know is she is not in the Dick Wolf universe still.
No. She's never come back for Chicago whatever. Chicago. I was gonna say Chicago Hope. I always want to say that, but
No, it's okay. I think I tried to figure out because when I finished watching like all the Law and Orders I could legally stream that I could find, I watched Law and Order Los Angeles. I can't get into Criminal Intent. I have tried.
Is it Vincent D? Is it Vincent D?
I don't know what it is. It just doesn't. I think it's a bit heavier on the law than the order aspect. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. I try, and it just doesn't pull me in. I have to be in a certain mindset to kind of do SVU.
I will say, all right. Back to Criminal Intent for a hot second. I think Vincent D'Onofrio is like a tough pill to swallow, and he's good in like smaller doses, like playing the villain, like Daredevil or something. Like, it's okay because he's the antagonist, so you're not like rooting for him.
That's what I saw him in recently. It wasn't Daredevil I saw him in. It was another MCU show, which I don't think you've watched.
Hawkeye.
Yes, Hawkeye.
Oh, I've seen Hawkeye.
Okay,
Yeah,
I love Hawkeye.
Hawkeye was good. Good times. Yeah. So like, I think when he's good as the antagonist, and it's like good to like root against him.
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of get him in like smaller doses because like I know like Daredevil really focused in on like his backstory and stuff, but it was still like it wasn't his story; it was Daredevil's story.
Yeah, what was
So
it?
like you're just kind of getting him in the background.
He was in one of those Vince Vaughn movies.
Oh yeah,
It was The Breakup, wasn't it?
Maybe I believe it was. Is that the one where he like shares an apartment?
Yeah, they share the apartment.
It is.
I mean, it was either that or Delivery Man.
He definitely is in The Breakup, but I don't know about the Delivery Man because I've never seen it.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Good one. You know what? I'll add it to the list. Just write it down. We'll do it for Vincent D'Onofrio month. Vincent D'Onofrio, like April. We'll go through his classic filmography.
We'll do it for Kobe Smulders month.
Like we'll do Kobe Smulders month, and then we'll do Vincent D'Onofrio month. We can watch Chips, the Chips remake movie, because Vincent D'Onofrio apparently is in that too.
Oh my gosh!
And he's in that like oh, never mind. I thought it was like the Breaking Bad like movie, but El Camino Christmas is not the Breaking Bad movie.
No, but that's the Tim Allen Christmas movie from Netflix. That is some dark, crazy stuff. Like when you're used to seeing like Tim Allen as like Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky Santa Claus, or even like Mr. Crank.
All right, here's the plot, and I'm like wildly intrigued by this. A young man played by Luke Grimes seeks out a father, played by Tim Allen, he has never met, and ends up barricaded in a liquor store with 5 other people on Christmas Eve. There is much turmoil and back and forth between all involved. After an extended shootout, a hero emerges. The cast, you ready for the cast?
Yeah.
Luke Grimes, Tim Allen, Vincent D'Onofrio, Dax Shepard, Kurtwood Smith. Those are the big names. Oh, Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba is in this.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Ugh.
I've watched it.
And this came out in 2017. Like this is like fresh. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 40%.
What does Rotten Tomatoes know though?
Would you agree with it?
I mean, if you're going in thinking you're getting like a Hallmarky Christmas movie, you will be disappointed.
So what have you read the tagline? Because I'm sold just on the tagline. You ready for it? You guys ready? You sitting down for this one? Bullets, Bear, and Holiday Chair. El Camino Christmas.
It's perfect for the movie.
A Netflix film. You know what? I'm going to watch this tomorrow. Stay up all night and watch El Camino Christmas. You know where you're going to just rebrand ourselves as an El Camino Christmas podcast. We'll just do a minute of El Camino Christmas every episode.
We are not doing one of those. We barely got through the Burbs that one time, bro.
That is true. All right, let's circle back to Law and Order universe. We kind of went through the cast, right? We hit all the high notes.
Yeah, we got like we got our main people.
Take us into the wild first scene. Just the craziest. Oh, should I just read the summary first, just so like people know what they're getting into?
Yeah, read the summary. Because like how we get there is just so wild.
So the summary from like the fandom.com website for this episode says 2 women are accused of conspiring to murder each other's husbands, but Jack and Serena are forced to try the cases simultaneously and separately. Detective Briscoe announces retirement. Like, I love how they just casually throw that in there because it's like he's alluding to it like pretty much like by himself, but then at the end he just like we just see him kind of jumping ahead, but he just throws a bunch of books into a box and is like, see you guys later.
Yeah, okay, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it beat by beat, step by step, day by day.
As best as we can in our way.
It bounces like this episode is like ADHD paradise because there's so many like whoever made this cork board and was like tying together all these threads between each like pinpoint must have been up all night doing this.
Yeah.
Fucking Lenny Briscoe and Ed Green must have been up all night like pinpointing these things. And like I'm just mind blown like Detective Briscoe like knew this was like the end for him, and like the fact that he just like pushed this case, like this could have just been like a like whatever, like fucking it's just another murder in New York City kind of thing going on, but like he fucking pushed, like he just fucking pushed every fucking every fucking edge, every inch.
He was like, this is my last case, I am gonna solve it, I'm not gonna have this hanging over my head.
You know what?
We are gonna solve this case.
If they just did like a Law and Order like case as like an 8-episode series, this would be like a good one to do, just to like see it unfold.
Oh yeah, the way this one, okay. So we gotta get to the start. So it's just like your average like weekday. We're in this apartment. in a brownstone. This woman is getting her kids breakfast, getting ready for the day. And, the doorbell rings and there's a package. There's like the delivery guy there. And she's not expecting anything. She signs for it. They have a little chit chat. And he goes down on his way. She's closed the door. She's back talking to the kid. And then all of a sudden, shots ring out. And she and the daughter drop to the floor.
Hold on. You skipped a very important detail. So before the gunshot's fired, so it's like one of those like flimsy, thin, like cardboard like mailers that like you probably put like an already like an envelope that you already had in there. Like maybe it was like a check or something, or like a document that you can't fold.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, "Who's Michelle Ryan? I don't know Michelle Ryan." And she like opens it up and it's empty. And she's like, "That's peculiar." And then you hear like 3 shots. She does the stupidest thing ever right here. She runs outside. Like, if you heard 3 shots, like, you're like, I would lock your door, because bullets are not going to go through a brownstone fucking building. I would go into, like, the interior side of the house, interior as I could, and just, like, made sure, like, everything was okay. Instead, bitch fucking opens up the front door and, like, runs outside. She, like, runs into danger.
And finds the delivery guy dead.
On the bottom step.
Yeah.
Would you run outside, like, as soon as you heard gunshots? Like, would that be your, like, instinct to do?
Sit under the window and call 911.
And, like, she leaves the door open, too. She leaves the door open.
Your 14-year-old daughter is in there.
Like, not only does she run outside, but she, like, runs down the steps, leaves the door open behind her. So, like, if there was, like, gunman was, like, out for justice, not only are you running down the stairs, you leave the door open, this guy can just, like, easily go in there, get the daughter, and hide out. No one's ever gonna know. It just, like, blew my mind. Just absolutely blew my mind. And after that, she decides to call the police. And Briscoe and Green show up. And they're, like, trying to figure out what's going on. It kind of, like, seems like it might be, like, a random case. Like, just, like, a random shooting. But then the daughter's like, "Tell him about the package, Mom. Tell him about the package."
Oh, yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, it was empty. It was from someone I don't know. I don't really, like, understand what's going on." So then that's like the one clue.
Yeah.
The one clue that leads them to like the delivery company store and one of the creepiest guys possible.
Oh my god. So we gotta remember it's like 2004, so like people like we're starting to enter like a debit credit card world, but like I feel like cash is still king for the most part.
But I also want to point out that this guy gets called out by Detective Green for his behavior.
He does. So like they look at the envelope and they find like the tracking number. They find out it was bought at like this one specific like it's not UPS or FedEx. It's like whatever company they made up for like this universe, but
delivery company. That's all it is. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So it's probably the company that Doug Heffernan works for. Because wasn't he like a fake UPS kind of guy, like a fake company?
I think it's like a fake FedEx.
It's the guy that wears the short shorts with like the matching like tuck-in shirt,
yeah,
and whistles while he carries boxes down the street.
So,
yeah. So they go to the store, and they're like trying to like figure out like, is the Clark Gunnery member who like Michelle Ryan or whatever the name was that like
is he even able to like figure it out? And the guy's like, well, we don't ask for ID.
Yeah. And it was like a Monday, so that's like
you don't need an ID to send a package.
Yeah, it's like a Monday. It's like their busiest day, and there's like probably like hundreds of people that have gone through there.
He remembers like 2 things from that day. He remembers the guy who spilled a ton of coffee on the floor, and he remembers a hot blonde. And he wants to like go look up the hot blonde's number and call her. And Detective Green is like, did she give you her number? And the guy's like, well, no. And Ed's like, gives him that look like, don't call her.
I love though that he tries to do that like when they're there. Like he like mentioned, like they had to like just write this into the script for some reason. Like they just had to include it.
Such a paper.
Because he's like, oh yeah, that was like that hot blonde, like hanging out in the corner, like of the corner of the store for like 20 minutes, staring in my direction, and then she finally shipped something. But it was like unrelated to this murder. It was just like
he can't track it. I guess they don't have video camera. So then they go to talk to the wife.
Oh yeah, Gloria. No, never mind. That was the secretary. Adele. Her name is Adele.
So they talk to the wife, who's all like, "Oh yeah, no, we're both just 2 hardworking people trying to make a go at it. he was making lots of overtime. We had no marital problems whatsoever. I can't believe anybody would do this to my husband.
I'm gonna throw this out there. You used a very good tone right there to kind of describe her responses because as soon as she came on, like I was expecting, like, you know what, we should have come into like a shambled house with like dishes piled up, maybe a bunch of like styrofoam, not styrofoam, those like little those like aluminum tins that like people bring over food after like a family member dies, and you get them like stacked up on the counter.
Oh yeah.
It should have been that. Her hair should have been a mess. Eyes were all puffy from crying, and she's chipper as fuck, like chipper AF. There's no signs of like sympathy, like food on the counter, like no like baked ziti, like plates of baked ziti, and she's trying to offer to Green and Briscoe, like because she's like, I don't know what to do with this, like
I feel like at that point in the day, the news would have like at least spread to the neighbors.
Yes, exactly.
And they would have been like bringing shit over.
Yeah, and I feel like we're on like it's the next day at this point. I feel like this is not the same day.
Yeah, it's something like she knows she's not going into work, and she's just like answering their questions, and she's just kind of like, we had no problems, even though they had a ton of problems.
Like it seems like she just jumped through like all the stages of grief right here, like because you're like denial's the first one, and then you're like anger, and
yeah,
like she's like at the end of it. She's at like kind of like the recovery phase. Like,
yeah, she's about to hit. She's hitting acceptance already. She's like, thank God he's done. Like, cause she goes back to work pretty damn fast too.
Yeah, she's on like 2004 Tinder. What was it, Craigslist? She's like on there, like looking...
probably. I don't even know. I didn't use eHarmony.
Yahoo Personals. She was already on there. She already had her pickup that she scanned. She had to scan a Polaroid.
She was ready, but they're just not finding anything. They talked to like one of the coworkers of the guy, and he admits the guy was having an affair.
Adele says like, oh, like he always came home late because he did like a lot of overtime, and then one of the cops brings it up.
The boss is like, we don't offer overtime.
Yeah, he's like, have you met my boss? He's a cheap motherfucker. Like, he will not pay overtime. It's like, if you're
this company is not paying overtime.
It's like, as soon as you hit 40 hours, like, you gotta go home. Like, we just kick you out of the truck.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, like, well, like, do you know any kind of, like, extra curricular activities you may have to do? And he's like, oh, he always, like, you know, he goes, does he go to the bar or something a lot? Oh, I think they asked him, like, does he have any, like any of the clients, quote unquote, that he sees a lot, and they're like, oh, there's a girl down at like, I don't know, like a security firm or something that they always go to.
Yeah, like the law firm or something, like some kind of firm.
He's like, he always talked about that girl, Gloria. She was a hot secretary.
Yeah.
Word on the street that he was like seeing her on the reg.
Man, that sounds just like a lot of work, man. To have an affair, like, it just seems like so much work. I don't know, it just seems like a lot of work just to get some extra play, you know? Plus, he has to pay for the motel room.
So, like, they go to the firm, they go to the law firm, and they talk to the secretary, and she's like, oh, you know, I broke it off when I realized that John, who's the delivery guy, had another girlfriend. Not just his wife, but, like, an actual, like, other girlfriend. They're like, all right, so what's the name of the hotel that you guys go to? And it's just some, like, sleazy fucking, like, pay by cash, pay by the hour kind of place.
It's the, like, same sleazy motel they always go to.
Like, the Syphilis Inn.
One of those sketchy places, and the guy's like, listen, I might charge by the hour, but I have a clean establishment.
And, like, all the records are, like, written down in, like yellow legal pad paper. Like, it's not like a computer system.
But he has video. He has video.
Yeah, and they find a girl who's wearing like a pair of shoes that like are very exclusive, like only like.
Okay, they're the Yeezys before there were Yeezys. That's what it is. They look pretty like ridiculous too.
There's like a pair of shoes that like Turtle wants on like an episode of Entourage. They have to like wait outside the store for like a really long time. It's like that kind of thing. So I guess.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. And the only reason this woman even has those shoes is because she works at the one store in the city that sells them.
Yeah, and she probably like didn't even buy them. She probably just like took them off the rack and just like walked around with them, walked around fucking New York City. Yeah. Went to the fucking Syphilis Inn and seduced John Byrne, I think.
Whatever his name is.
The fucking FedEx guy.
But the cops are down. They track her down because of these sneakers at the boutique. My favorite thing is the guy who works at the boutique is like, we're closed then. We don't open till noon. And then he calls her out, like, whatever her name is, Janice or whatever. Janice, these cops want to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, she's in the back. She's in, like, the back room. So she comes out, and she's like, oh, yeah. She's like, Adele knew about the affair. Actually, you know what? She called me on my landline. It was like, I'm going to do something about it.
This is such a weird time.
So then they, like, go back to Adele, and she's like, oh, you know, I don't know this. Oh, her name is Blair, by the way.
Whatever.
Blair. I don't know Blair. I never met Blair. I don't own a gun. And then they're like, okay, well, let's go to, like, her work. She's a Parks and Recs girl. She's like an Amy Poehler.
Yeah, she's a landscaper for the Parks and Rec department.
Yeah, she blows leaves.
And they're literally like, the guy has been dead maybe 2 days at this point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's back at work.
Your company, the city of New York, wasn't going to give you time off after your husband was murdered? Not even, like, a few days? Like, that to me is a little sketch.
Yeah, and I feel like you get, like, good, like, city benefits, too. You get these, like, hut city benefits. It's probably, she's got a good, like, plan. They'd probably give her, like, a month off if she really wanted it.
Like, I'm pretty sure she at least had, like, 3 or 4 bereavement days or something, you know?
I think more than that, to be honest with you, because it's
probably
like shocking murder. But it is New York City, though. Murder happens all the time. Get over it. So they go to, like, the supervisor, and he's like, oh, yeah, she's a wonderful worker. You know, she was down at the, like, Riverside Park, blowing leaves at the time of the murder.
Like, not that far from where her husband was murdered. But it's far enough away that it's not, like, an easy escape for her. But it's just, there's a window. There's this window of opportunity for her.
Yeah, there was, like, a time where, like, the supervisor drove by, and he saw her, like, in the park, like, blowing leaves. And it was, like, maybe, like, 20 minutes before the murder. So, like, they're like, okay, but I don't know. They were still digging deep. So they like, subpoena the bank records, and they see that she goes to this, like, cafe all the time. Like, she's always at this one cafe.
3 times a week, Gardner's Cafe. Okay, so wait. If I go to Panera Bread 3 times a week, does that mean I'm plotting a murder with the manager at the Panera Bread?
If the cops subpoenaed your records, they might, like, call you out of it. They're like, this bitch is here, all, like, Panera Bread getting.
Thinking about my bank statement, they'd be very confused by what I do.
You're like, why was she at Dutch Brothers Coffee, Panera Bread, and Starbucks within 2 hours of each other?
Yeah, I don't go to Starbucks very often.
But this day she did, so that, I don't know, it's a red flag. Red flag.
Like, how long was that line at Dutch Brothers, and how late for work was she?
Yeah. Did she pull out of the line? Was she at the point where you're now in, like, a single lane and you can't get out? Or was she before that point where it's easy to, like, turn around? We don't know. Roll the security footage. I feel like all these Law and Order murder mysteries would, like, be debunked really easy now with let's just track their phone.
Oh my god! And they, like, okay, so in the most recent season, technology definitely plays in more. Like, 'cause there's security camera footage everywhere in New York now, so they're just pulling it up.
Oh, yeah, you don't just get, like, in the hallway.
And they're like, oh, hey!
It's a post 9/11 world. All the, like, tactics they had to utilize in the 90s didn't exist.
I mean, well, this is a post 9/11 world in 2004.
It is.
But we're not, like, where we're at now.
No, I feel like security was still trying to catch up from all this stuff. You know, this is where now we're, like...
Yeah.
I bet you before 9/11, I bet you that Syphilis Inn didn't have a security camera in the hallway.
Oh, probably not.
No, but they do now. Syphilis Inn wants to know, you know, terrorists are coming in, because, you know what, terrorists are going to stay at a place that's cheap before they carry out their plot.
They're definitely not staying at the plaza.
Yeah, they're not staying at the Trump Plaza Hotel or whatever.
I love that you picked up on that. You picked up where I was. This is why we're friends.
So, there's also, like, a mysterious $500 ATM withdrawal from, like, a random city in Vermont.
Yeah, like, what?
Instead of just calling, like, the local like law enforcement agency in Vermont. They fucking drive up there. They fucking take the trip.
Listen, they wanted to see the leaves. I don't know. They wanted to get out of the city. They're like, we can put our siren on and woo.
Like, do you think they like got up there and just did their like 2 minute visit to this place and then like just like chilled for the weekend, or do you think they like immediately went back
Like,
home?
they definitely stopped for maple candies and maple syrup. Like, they come back and they bring the lieutenant like the Vermont maple syrup or something. And then Briscoe's like, hey, don't say I never brought you anything.
Yeah, or like did like a history tour or something, like a ghost tour. I don't know. Like I went to like an art museum.
I'm now picturing Letty and Ed on like ghost tours from Vermont.
I don't know. Like
They're like, okay, I guess we should go back to the city now and solve this murder.
yeah, I don't know. It's got to be what like a like 4 or 5 hour drive at the
Yeah. Something like
minimum, even with the lights flashing the whole way, which I don't think you can do, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Like, what is like Vermont police gonna do when they see like a New York City police car like flying through their state?
You're totally pulling those bitches over. You're like, what are you doing in our jurisdiction? You're a long way from the city, pal.
Somebody stole this car. They're like pretending to be cops driving through Vermont. They're like I-95. Like, I don't know. Like, I just felt like they very easily could have just called, I don't know, like Montpelier Police and had like the Montpelier Police Department just like head by this gun shop.
And they could have gone and talked to the guy at the gun shop and found out the same information.
Yeah, but
which is that the guy purchased the gun under his name because the lady didn't want to wait for the
Brady Bill thing to come through.
background check.
Why would he do like
Yeah.
is she blackmailing him? Like why?
What? Like, why? Like what
he
did she do for him in the back room?
Yeah. All right. It's not like this happened like in New York City. Like she went to a gun store in New York City, paid $500 cash, and like got the guy to buy the gun. That would have been like less suspicious, I think, if she just like withdrew $500 from like a Bank of America on like the Upper West Side or something,
Right?
and then went to like a gun store in New York City.
No, she had to do it from the gun shop in Vermont.
Yeah, she goes to the actual ATM inside the gun shop. That's how they knew she was at a gun shop, by the way. Like she tried to like plot out this perfect murder. That's like her biggest mistake right there is doing that. She should like all she had to do was just
is what caused her to get caught.
I still don't get how she just talked to random.
It's about one stupid little mistake you make while setting up your like murder my husband plot.
But
that just ruins the whole thing.
But it gets even better though. Not only did she randomly somehow talk a like Montpelier, Vermont gun shop owner into buying a gun for her with $500 cash. Mm-hmm. There's also like a bigger plot here going on because
this is just the first thread of everything.
So they're trying to like find out like where the gun may be. And she already said she didn't own a gun, but then she's like, "Oh wait, I did own a gun. I don't own a gun now, but I reported it stolen a month ago. Well, my purse was stolen."
Yeah, it was totally stolen.
Yeah, so
my illegally bought gun was stolen.
So they like go through the records. And they just find out she just reported a stolen purse, but not a stolen gun. And then they're like, "Why did you report a gun was stolen?" She's like, "Well, because it was illegally purchased." And they're like, "Well, why did you illegally purchase a gun?" And they're like, "Well, because I don't feel safe in the city." I mean, I would either.
It's just so ridiculous. I mean, I bought a gun illegally because I don't feel safe in the city.
She has like a history though, didn't she? Had some kind of like something. She did something when she was like a teenager that like would have prevented her.
Maybe.
Yeah. They casually reference it like in the episode.
But this whole thing is just so ridiculous.
So they still think because the Riverside Park was 20 minutes away from the murder scene, so they're gonna like comb the river. But they find it like very quickly. Like they find this gun like immediately. Like they
find her gun. They got like the guys down scuba diving looking for guns. They probably found like 20 other guns.
And they pretty much like arrest her already. Like they just like get the gun, they go out and they arrest her. She's like in jail, and like then they do ballistics. They like run ballistics after.
Well, yeah, because they get and they do the ballistics, and it's the same type of gun that killed her husband, but it's not the gun that killed her husband. But, oddly enough, this gun was in another murder in a park.
Which is also tied into the cafe, the Gardner's Cafe that she goes to 3 times a week. Yeah. So the husband of the owner of the Gardner Cafe was murdered like a week or two before.
Is murdered by the gun that was stolen from her.
This is where I kind of start to get a little like what's going on here because we learned that the Gardner Cafe's husband was like a rich man, like a super fucking rich man.
Like, he was probably hanging out at the same club Donald Trump was at.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And the only reason why this woman owned the cafe because it was like a passion project for her.
Yeah,
like,
it was just so that, like, she got the freak out of the house. Like, he's like, yeah, okay, you want to own a cafe? Great. Here's the money for the cafe. Just stay out of my hair. Just stay out of my hair.
Think about this. So, like, I don't know, like a multi-millionaire in New York City is murdered. And, like, they just, like, pretty much just, like, drop the case and that's it. But a fucking delivery guy is murdered. And, like, they're going all into this case.
Okay, so I think there's a couple of key differences. The millionaire guy was killed in the park while he was jogging. It looked more like a random mugging kind of thing than a delivery guy delivering a letter and getting shot on a doorstep, you know?
What would you think would be the more, like, high-profile case out of the two, though?
In the news, probably the millionaire, but I think the way it was staged to go down, it looked more like it was just wrong time, wrong place for him. Where with the delivery guy, somebody wanted him at that place at that time. It's the way the two murders were staged. You have our millionaire guy who just bad luck when he was going for his morning jog. Then we have the delivery guy who was deliberately sent to that address so that someone would know where he was.
Okay, yeah. I just feel like the fucking wealthy property developer, whatever he was, like I felt like that guy would have been more like they still would have been talking about him on the news.
I mean, probably, but because of the way it was staged, it looked more like a random incident. And I'm not saying the news was following either of these like a lot. Let's be real. They maybe got like 2 inches, 3 inches. Like the millionaire probably got like a 4-inch story in the paper. The delivery guy probably got like an inch and a half.
Yeah, and I was even thinking of this, like the delivery guy murder, like Adele definitely got like the short end of the stick in this like murder conspiracy. We're just gonna go spoil it. The rich bitch and Adele are the murderers.
Yeah,
they're the murderers.
100%. They killed each other's husbands.
The rich bitch was definitely like she had the upper hand, and she knew like. I feel like she covered her tracks like a lot more. Like she had the better plot, and I feel like that. Like I feel like she pushed Adele to be sloppy.
I think so. Yes. Like when you get to the trials, you know, there's the class differences right there between the two lawyers and how they weave their stories and.
Because the rich guy murder was like he was like jogging in Central Park or something or Riverside Park or wherever, and just got like shot. And that was it. Like nothing. No one thought anything more. But
like exactly.
Adele's husband's murder. It's like there's an envelope sent from like a random person to another random person because there's like no tie back to the people who got the letter. Like they just randomly chose an address. Yeah, they just chose an address, like sent it.
There's no tie. Like
yeah, like they could have just like thrown in a birthday card.
They just picked an address. That's where we're going to kill him.
They didn't have to follow. Like, I mean, they didn't have to, like, send a letter. They could have just followed him on his route that day and then just, like, waited till inopportune time.
Right?
Or an opportune time. Because, like, what if there was, like, a bunch of people, like, hanging out on the stoop at this house? Like, did they case this, like, specific house out? It was, like, no one's ever outside around, like, noon.
I mean, maybe the rich lady, I cannot remember her name, maybe Miss Gardner, is like familiar with the neighborhood. She kind of has an idea of like who is coming and going to a certain extent, certain times of day. Like, you know, you kind of get a vibe of when your neighbors are home and when they're not.
I mean, I guess you could be right. I don't know. Or like maybe these were people from the that she knew from the cafe, so like she knew they would be like home at this time and able to like sign for this letter.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like there's a lot of holes in this, like in Adele's side.
The letter is what really
triggered the investigation,
set the whole thing off into being more than a random thing.
Yeah, like that's why I was just like, why don't they
hadn't used the letter, they would have both gotten away with it.
Yeah, like why did they just follow this guy around, like, and just like waited till like he was on his lunch break or
Yeah.
something, and just like got him there, like maybe he like pulled into an alley or something and like slept for an hour.
Right? Like
That part just kind of bothered me. They're both arrested, and it's like
yeah.
it's a thin case. It's a thin case. So you have Miss Sutherland and Sam Waterston.
Jack McCoy. His character's
Like-
name is Jack McCoy. Come on.
They're kind of being like told like, you know what, you shouldn't maybe try these two people together. This is like you're skating on thin ice. This is not an open shut case. Like we don't know where it could go. We don't know how this could go.
Yeah.
But they're drawn to it. They're drawn to the case, and you know they're kind of pushing at it. Adele basically gets convicted of murder, and the rich bitch gets away. She like gets away scot-free.
Yep. But then she's got like the fancy lawyer played by what's his face? John Benjamin Hickey.
Yes, it totally was John Benjamin Hickey, by the way.
So and he's like this smooth talking lawyer. He knows like all the tricks to try and get you in and out. But then when Adele gets convicted, she's like, I'm ready to talk. She turns the tables and they get a conspiracy charge against Belinda Gardner, which they didn't go for, so they could go after her again.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is she's at Rikers, and they basically come to her, and they're like, do you think it's fair that, you know, you got sent to jail, and this woman is enjoying her millions while you're just some working class girl?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, you know, I guess you're right. So she decides to, like, tell the story, and then, like, they think, like, the double jeopardy law, it's only going to protect her in the Byrne case, but they can now, like, charge her for her husband's case, because, like, she wasn't charged for that initially.
Mm-hmm. For conspiracy to commit murder. Ha ha!
So
Suck it.
they go back, they get her, they find all the evidence, and now they're both in jail. Cut back to the precinct, and we see Briscoe, and he's just throwing a bunch of shit into a box, and he's like, nice to go out on a win. And that's it. Like, episode ends.
We see. Well, so there were a few moments like earlier in the episode that we didn't like. So like, there's one where he stays back and he talks to the lieutenant, and she's like, "You haven't told him yet, have you?" He's like, "Trying to find the right time."
Oh, yeah. Like, little hints, little nuggets.
Yeah, there's these little
But there's no, like...
little bits, and like throughout the investigation, there's like the point where Lenny's like, "Oh, I had to go to 1PP and like fill out some paperwork," and she's like, "For what?" And Lenny is kind of like, "I'm retiring."
Oh, yeah, he's kind of, like, alluding to his, like, gonna cash out his 401k or something like that, you know?
Yeah, like he's gotta fill out the paperwork for the retirement fund and all that stuff.
I think as the viewer, like, did we know? Like, was this announced that he was leaving the show? Like,
Yeah, I believe so.
it was like public news at the time?
Yeah, I think we knew.
And then, like, was him being on the other show, like, a surprise? Was that, like, a hot surprise? I can't remember.
No, we knew that, like, I think when they started talking about it, they mentioned he would be on, but then he passed away, like, while they were filming.
Yeah, because he had, like, lung cancer or something, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But, I mean, Lenny is my favorite detective of the whole series.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
I love Lenny. I still love Mike, played by Chris Noth. I still do.
Yeah.
Like, even... But, you know, it's okay. So, I've watched, like, season 1 and 2 of Law and Order, because you can get those on Amazon Prime to stream. You can't get 3 to 13 anywhere. But you can get 1 and 2. And it's so funny, like, watching, like, him as the young, like, cool, laid-back cop who, like, would be considered, like, the old badass cop now. But, like, he's working with, like, these older guys who are, like, some of them are kind of chill, some of them aren't. Like, his first partner in the first season, I hated. I was like, let me just get through the season.
Yeah, we're gonna sit there. I don't think I've ever seen, like, the first season. Like, I feel like I've only known it from, like, 95, 6, 7-ish and on. And it was, like, totally different, like, show back then. I feel like they move too fast now sometimes to, like, really get into it, I guess.
Definitely a difference. Like, back then, like, I swear to God, the order part, mainly, like, during the Ben Stone years, was kind of like a drag.
Yeah, and I think they like toned down a little bit on that too. They made it more like crimey, I guess, like more like detective work, and then just kind of like toned down on the order part of it because that was always just kind of like
I mean,
the drag of the episode for me most of the time, not all the time.
I've watched the most recent season. I really enjoyed the most recent season. Um, the detective work is different now than it was back then. You know, there's more technology, there's more like DNA testing and like there was an episode I was watching the other day where they were explaining computer viruses. It's like a season 3 episode. But like I feel like the law part, like the order part is a little more realistic now. Like I feel like there's a lot of grandstanding in the early seasons.
And I think nowadays they just try to make it more exciting, like because there was even like a period, maybe even like middling running on the show where they just kind of like based things on like things that happened, but just kind of like
Oh, well, no, throughout the entire series, it's been ripped from the headlines.
even like from the very beginning.
Yeah, like from the very beginning. Like there's one of the early episodes was like full, like episode 3 or something was like
I
full
didn't
on
realize that
ripped
was
from
an
the
OG
headlines.
thing.
Like they had a
I thought that was kind
disclaimer
of
that
like
says
as
it
it
might
started to become
seem like
popular,
it's
like maybe they
this
like
particular
niche.
news story, but it's totally not. But it
Unrelated.
totally was.
Yeah, unrelated, not real.
Totally not. Like, and that's one of the things Law and Order is known for, is it's ripped from the headlines.
I didn't realize they did it
Yeah,
early
like
on.
even this last season. Like, I think a lot of the stories are ripped from headlines. They're just not always the big headlines, you know? Actually, this one people believe is based on Strangers on a Train.
They even say that in the episode. They even like flat out say it in the episode. They're like, this sounds like a Hitchcock movie. I think Lenny Briscoe says it.
Like, because it's right out. It sounds like it's something right out of Alfred Hitchcock, where two strangers meet on a train and one convinces the other to exchange murders for each other, so that neither would get caught.
All right. Anything else on Law and Order before we ask the age-old question? Anything else you want to throw out there?
Okay, Serena is probably my fourth favorite ADA. I've got a ranking. Tani Rubirosa is my first. I love her. She's the last one of the OG series.
I don't even know who that is. So.
Actually, you know what? Serena's third. It's Serena, then Claire, then Paul, then Jamie Ross. Jamie Ross is the worst.
All right. On a scale of 1 out of 5, Montpelier, Vermont ATM receipts. How many Montpelier, Vermont ATM receipts would you rate the COD Season 14, Episode 24 episode of Law and Order? We're gonna get a rare Cat 5 that just blows the whole coastline away, just knocks New York City off the map. We're gonna get a middling, 2.5 ish, or we're gonna get like a goose egg. We're gonna get a Cat Halstead goose egg. Can I take a guess? Can I take a guess where you're gonna go?
Yeah, I want you to take a guess.
You picked this episode to do, and you mentioned that you've watched it like 4 times in the last like year. So I'm gonna say, I don't think we're gonna get a Cat 5. I don't think we're gonna get a rare Cat 5. The New York City coastline has been spared, so like a 4.5. Still does some damage, but things are still functional. The subway's still running.
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
What?
The case itself is not like that great. You know, it's not that memorable.
Yeah.
Like for me, one of the most memorable parts of this is that opening scene with the mother and daughter getting the empty envelope and being like, "What the f?" And then the guy dying in front of them.
Can I just comment? The mother looked really old to have that girl as a child, too.
Career woman, New York City, in vitro fertilization.
Okay, if you say so. I was like, are we sure that's not the grandmother? She definitely had like the...
Dude, that woman is probably our age.
No, she was older.
Oh, well...
What's the name of that lady from Passions? The matriarch vibe to her.
Ivy Crane?
Yeah, she had like an Ivy Crane vibe to her.
Oh my god. God, you're a mess, Patrick.
The mother of like a preteen. Playing the mother of a preteen. It was like an 11, 12-ish year old girl. Like on her way to like, I don't know, like figure skating lessons. She wanted to be Tonya Harding.
Oh my god. By then, nobody wanted to be Tanya Harding.
There was who was hot? Who was the hot? Like Oksana Biol or something.
Probably, or Tara Lipinski.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're in a Tara Lipinski era right here.
I mean, Tara Lipinski won the gold medal in '98.
Oh, then we're past that.
We're past that, so.
Are we to curling yet? Is curling a thing? Is that popular?
I think, you know what, this was right when curling got hot. Because curling got hot in 2002 in Salt Lake City.
You want to know where I rate? You want to know how many Montpelier Vermont ATM receipts I give this episode?
Yeah, let's see it.
What did you say, a 3.5?
Yeah, I said a 3.5.
All right, respectable. So let me think it out. So we get the crazy open-end number. We get the crazy conspiracy, just like all those loose threads that just somehow got like intertwined, which I kind of liked. I kind of just liked going down this rabbit hole of just uncovering these little facts. We get Lenny Briscoe's retirement, just haphazardly thrown in at the end. I'm gonna give it a 4. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 4, a pat 4. Yeah. Respectable, good.
I mean, you are nicer than me. You are not as critical as I am.
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought it was a good episode. It actually like kept me on my toes. I even like paused a few times to like see what some of these cast members were up to, especially the guest stars like the Gardner woman and Adele. Guess what? They did like 3 or 4 more things after this, and that was it. Each of them.
The one who played Belinda looks really familiar. Like, I know I've seen her in other stuff. And then I'm like, I have never watched, like, any of the stuff she's, like, listed as being in. Like, John Benjamin Hickey became, like, a name, like, after this episode. But even then, I'm like, what has he done lately?
Nothing. I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Like, I just remember him as the brother on The Big C, and... Oh, he's one of the...
Oh,
he's a dad on Gossip Girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's on the new Gossip Girl. He's in Jessica Jones. He was on Mom, The Good Fight. So, like, he's around. He just doesn't have that, like...
Yeah,
He's no, like, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, I just remember him as Becca's dad in Pitch Perfect.
He's not John H. Benjamin. He's John Benjamin Hickey. So, JBH.
I mean, he's done a good chunk of Law & Orders, though. Because he did a Law & Order LA, too.
Like, he comes back and plays a completely different character.
He's done, like, 3 episodes of SVU.
Yeah, because, like, Law & Order was, like, the OG, like, CSI dead body role. Like, you got to play, like, a perp or a Vic.
Well, you know what? I was watching... Okay, because I did this, like, crazy binge of Law & Order, I got to see, like, actors who would later go on to be, like, detectives on the show playing criminals in the past. Or, like, just people who are named now playing, like, the criminals. Like, there was one with Ty Burrell where he had, like, kidnapped this kid, and the kid thought he was his son, and he was, like, some crazy anti-government person, like, thinking that the U.S. is gonna, like, break down his door and take him in.
Alright, I'm excited for next week. Very excited for next week.
But what are we doing next week?
We're gonna roll something from the archives. We're gonna go into the archives.
Okay, we got the archive.
Yeah, and this is gonna be an episode. It's a really long one. We talked about the show for like 2+ hours. You never want to talk about it again. You're done with this world. It's a spin-off of a show, and it also has spin-offs to itself. It's a pseudo-reality series. It stars people that are still famous today, and I think it might still be on the air as like a new spin-off. I don't know if they went forward with it.
I honestly don't know how any of that works anymore.
So, any guesses as to the show that we recorded like last summer?
I'm gonna guess it's The Hills.
Yes, it's The Hills. We're gonna go hang out with Elsie, Heidi, Whitney, and I think those are the only like 3 people that are in the episode. Yeah, and that crazy lady from like Teen Vogue.
I literally don't even remember. Patrick, I think I was still engaged when we recorded that one.
You might have been. We recorded in August.
Like, that's how freaking long ago this was.
We recorded in August of 21.
You realize how many men I have dated since then?
We'll save that for the comeback episode after. When we do Canada Month.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, join us next week when we dive into the world of The Hills. And we like pretty much, because I knew we were never going to talk about it again, so we go deep.
Yeah, I can guarantee you guys, I have no clue what happened in that episode. No clue what I said. No clue what he said. And I was blonde. I did not have purple pink hair.
Where can you follow our wild ass adventures cat house of the out there? Where can you follow us?
We are on the Twitter, the Tumblrs, the Facebooks, the Instagrams.
TikTok? We on TikTok?
I have a TikTok. You have a TikTok. I got to figure out how to make a TikTok for the podcast.
Okay, and we have a Pinterest.
There's a way. I just haven't.
We have a Pinterest.
There's a Pinterest board somewhere.
Yeah, there's also saltyrockmedia.com. Follow all of our wild adventures there.
Yeah, don't accept imitations. Do not accept like creepy Gen X guys. Actually, once worked on The Bachelor. Didn't we find that out?
I think so. We did. So we had our private investigator get to the bottom of it. We'll release the dossier soon.
I still have it somewhere.
Yeah, she's gonna find it. It's in storage. It's next to like the Simpsons like portrait that she was supposed to send to me like 10 years ago.
They're just gonna get like a revenge package one day of glitter.
As always, girl. As always.
Bye.
Watch the highways for Lenny Briscoe and Jesse L. Martin flying to Montpelier, Vermont. To, I don't know, going on a ghost tour.